end, right? Is it really the end or is it really the beginning? Who remembers what we were learning last week about Parashat Vayeshev? About who are we going to be talking? About Yosef. Last week we were talking about Parashat Vayeshev and we said that Yaakov Avinu wanted to rest. Right? He said, that's it, I had so much trouble, time for me to rest. But the truth is, the Chassidut says that Yaakov did not want to rest. He wanted to bring the Geulah. How can the Geulah come? When Yosef goes down to Mitzrayim. Because that's the beginning of the Geulah. So he had to be. But I did hear something saying that I think for 7 or 9 years that he was in peace in his place. 7 or 9 years, I wrote it somewhere, but I don't remember. And then Yosef went down to Mitzrayim. So it means that Yosef was 8, and 9 years he was by his father Yitzhak, Yaakov, and then Yosef, when he was 17, went down to Mitzrayim. That's really the story with the ages. Okay, so Yosef was the best son of his father, Yaakov. Why was he the best son? It's not nice to say so, because we are not supposed to like better one on the other, more than the other one. Because he was the son of Rachel, and he loved Rachel, and he looked like Rachel, and he had so many things like him. So he loved him, and he gave him a special piece of clothing, and Yosef had some dreams that we were talking about last week, and the brothers hated him, and they decided, let's get rid of Yosef. So first they thought to kill him. Then Reuven said, don't kill him, just put him in the pit, in the well over there. There were snakes and scorpions, but nothing. Reuven thought really to come and take him. But later on, Yehuda said, you know what, let's sell him to the Israelim, and he was sold 4 times, the Midrash says, and till he went to Mitzrayim, and over there he worked for Potiphar. Potiphar was the chief of the butchers over there. He worked by him, and then there was the whole story with his wife, that she wanted to marry him, and the whole story that he was sent into prison, and he stayed there for 10 years. And after these 10 years, there were 2 men over there who had a dream, the butler and the baker, who were in prison also. And after the 2 dreams, when Yosef explained the dreams to these people, so he said to the butler, when you go out of prison, please remind me to Paro and say to him that I was sent to prison and I'm innocent and I didn't do anything. And at the end, Hashem said, you asked someone to help you, you asked an arrogant Egyptian, you're going to be staying 2 more years in prison. Because we explained last week that Yosef had a very high neshama, who came from a very high world, the world of Atzilut, and he was not supposed to ask anyone around, he was supposed to believe in Hashem, and that was it. And because he asked someone, so he had to stay in prison for 2 more years. Now the 2 more years are over. Vayehi miketz shnatayim, right? This is what the Parsha starts. Say that now the 2 years are over, and now Paro is going to dream. So the Midrash explains that really Paro was dreaming the whole year. Every night he had dreams and dreams and dreams and dreams. And at the end, in the morning, he would wake up and forget everything he had dreamt. The Rebbe is asking why everything is going through dreams. We were talking about Yosef having 2 dreams. We were talking about the butler and the baker having dreams. Now we have Paro who has a dream, who has a few dreams. It's because Yosef was like the tzaddik of the generation. And everything passes in the same way. If tzaddik of the generation experiences something, so people around are also experiencing the same thing. And the Rebbe was telling us about it, that sometimes we think, let's behave like the world does. But the Rebbe says, no, you have to behave like the Torah says, and then the world is going to change around you. The same way as it passes through the tzedek. Okay, so here we are, and during the whole year, Paro was dreaming, and now after, he had a certain dream that when he had a certain dream, and he had a second dream that we're going to say which one, and he also dreamt about the meaning of his dreams into his dream. And that's why later on we will see when he's going to ask everyone, tell me what my dream means. They're going to say this and they're going to say that. We go, no, that's not what I dreamt about. That's not the solution of my dream. Okay? So here it is. I wrote it in English because it would be hard to say it in French. So I'm going to tell you what was the dream. At the end of 2 years, Paro had a dream. He was standing by the Nile. Then from the Nile, look what is happening over there. There were 7 nice-looking cows. They might have looked better than these ones, but 7 nice-looking cows. Okay, there were these cows, well-built, coming up, and they pastured in the marshland. Then look, 7 other ugly-looking cows, skinny and bony, right, came out after them from the Nile, and they stood beside the other cows on the bank of the Nile. Then the ugly-looking, thin cows devoured the 7 nice-looking, well-built cows, and Paro woke up. What happened was that these cows came first, these cows came after. They devoured, they ate the big ones. What happens when we eat a lot? It's supposed to be like this, right? But they were still very, very skinny, right? And then Paro woke up. And then he had a second dream. Let me read the second dream. Second dream. 7 healthy and good ears of grain were growing on one stalk. And look! 7 like this, big and nice. 7 ears of grain, parched by the east wind, were growing up after them. The thin ears of grain swallowed the 7 healthy and full ears, ploof, and stayed all skinny like this. Okay, here we have a few things. We have 7 and 7. We have 2 dreams, right? And Paro, I said, knew also the meaning of his dream, but he doesn't remember when he wakes up. And he calls all the magicians around, and he says to them, I want you to explain my dreams. And all kind of people come, and they are looking for an explanation, and looking, and people say all crazy things. You're going to have 7 daughters, and these 7 daughters are going to die. You're going to have 7 kingdoms, and you're going to make a war, and you're going to lose these 7 kingdoms. And they all try, and no one is able to understand what this dream means. But besides this, why did Hashem do that? You think it was so hard to explain the dream? So we have an explanation that says that they thought it was 2 different dreams. They didn't understand that he really meant the same. So they didn't really know how to explain it. And another explanation is because Hashem wanted that everyone would try, and then Yosef would come, go out of the pit, and become the vice king. Because if it wouldn't be the last one, they would say, oh, you know what? I knew the answer. If you would give me a chance to be the one to explain it to you, I would know the answer like Yosef. But here they tried everyone, and at the end, Yosef was the one who was able to explain. Okay? So this is about the dream. And the truth is that Paro was not able to go to understand the meaning of the dream, and then he became like crazy. And he really, really could not live anymore. He became crazy. And then the butcher was saying, 1 second, if Paro becomes crazy, we're going to have another king. If the other king comes, so maybe I'm not going to stay in the same position. Better that I said that when I was in the prison, I had someone who knew how to explain the dreams. That's my chance. So he came to Paro. And Paro said he would reward someone who would bring him someone who would explain the dream. And he said to Paro, listen, Paro, I have to remind you about 2 mistakes like I did the first time when I was serving the cup of Paro. I was put in prison because there was a fly into the cup, the butler said. And Paro put me in prison. Over there was someone who was there. But how did he speak about Yosef? He said he was young, he was Jewish, and he was... 1 second, I got it over here. And he was a slave. This is how he said about Yosef. Why did he say that? He could say there was a great man and he was able to explain to us the dreams. He wanted to tell something to Paro. And he said there was a Jewish man. The Jewish man doesn't speak our language. There was a young man. He is not a wise person. He cannot grow, like he has no experience. So you cannot bring him to a very high position. And he was a slave because if someone is a slave, he cannot be dressed with nice clothing to become someone important. So he was saying that about Yosef. And here the Torah says, you think about someone that he would say something good about you, don't dream about it. The Egyptians is going to say just something mean about Yosef. And Paro wants Yosef to come out right away. When the time of Galut is over, Yosef doesn't stay a minute more. The butler goes to the prison, he shaves. Yosef has to shave, and he didn't shave, he didn't cut his hair, he didn't do anything during all these years that he was separated from his father, which is 22 years. Or 20 years at least, because there was 7 years of hunger. I don't know how. They say that Yosef was 30 years old now. So during all, he was 17, now he's 30. During all these years, he didn't shave, and he stayed, he was mourning for his father. Now he shaves, he gets dressed properly, and he goes to the king. And when he comes to the king, so Paro says, I heard that you know how to explain dreams. And right away, Yosef says to the king, Hashem knows how to explain the dreams. I'm not the person I'm going to be such an important man. Hashem knows. And Paro starts to tell him the dream. And he said in the Midrash that Paro was trying to change the dream when he was saying it to Yosef. But Yosef said, in the dream it was a little different. It was like this and like that. And every time Paro said, well, you were standing behind me when I was dreaming. But really it was the Ruach HaKodesh that Hashem gave him a special spirit that he was able to know the dream. And Yosef is explaining the dream to Paro. That was the message. So Yosef says, the 7 cows were the big cows, and the 7 piece of like wheat, these things, they mean the same thing. It means that soon Hashem is going to start 7 years of abundance. You're going to have so much food in Mitzrayim. It's going to be like crazy, crazy food. Just after them, the 7 thin one and the 7 thin cows mean that 7 other years are going to come, which is going to be the famine years, the hunger years. And it's going to come so suddenly that, like they stay so skinny and the cows stay so skinny, that we are going to forget about the abundance right away. The hunger will be so strong that we're going to forget that we had so much food before. And why is the dream 2 times? Because Hashem is going to do it right away. It's going to start very, very soon. That's the meaning of the dream. And nobody asked Yosef to do so, but Yosef say, I will advise you to do something. Find some men who are going to collect the extra food that you have in the closets that you're going to put on. Find someone who's going to collect all the food and put it in the closets, and it should be in the charge of Paro. That it will be the property of Paro. And he's going to be the one, find someone wise who is going to be the one in charge of the grain. And Paro right away say, I know only you are the wisest person for that, and I'm choosing you, so you should be the one, the wise person that is going to take care of everything. And right away, the people who were the ministers said, Paro, that's not right. How come you take a slave who was sold for 20 coins and you bring him to such a nobility? And Paro was saying, the Midrash said that, look, he's so gracious and he's so nice. He has such a nice personality. He looks like a free person. He doesn't look like someone who was a slave. And especially in Mitzrayim, I think the people were black. And Yosef was white, so it was very strange that someone white would be sold by black people or whatever, but he was like a beautiful person and everyone knew about him. So they had a trick, they had something with the king that someone who would become a noble person had to know 70 languages. So Paro had a certain throne, a very nice throne, and had 70 steps to go to him. He was with gold and silver, they say, and he was with precious stones. And they had something that we're going to explain a little later, that whoever was wise would come a few steps, whoever was higher would come more steps, and the king would meet him, and then whoever was very, very high would become someone important. That's the way they did it in Egypt. But before this is going to happen on the next day, but Paro, when he saw that, he decided, and it wasn't the same day, sorry. So Paro had these things that, 1 second. During the night, there was a Malach who came to Yosef and taught him the all 70. It seems that there is 71 languages, because everyone knew 70, but Yosef knew one more than everyone. So he taught him the 70 languages, and Paro, and he added the Malach added a letter to the name of Yosef. He called him Yehosef. That's what the Midrash says, and in order for him to remember all these 70 languages. So what happened was, on the next day, Yosef was going up and up and up and up all the steps, because he knew all the languages. So they talked all the languages until he came to the 71, and then he spoke in Hebrew. But the king did not know Hebrew, so he said, Paro said, so teach me Hebrew. And Yosef tried, but because he was so not pure, he couldn't learn the language. And then Paro asked him to swear, and he said to Yosef, you could be the king instead of me, because you know what extra language that I don't know. So you have to swear to me that you would not say it to anyone around. That's a secret, and nobody should know about it. And you're going to become someone very important, but you are under me. And this is whatever he swore. This is when he promised that. When we will see later that Yaakov passed away, and Yosef wanted to bury him in Eretz Israel. So he said to Paro, I swore to my father that I would take him out of Mitzrayim. And Paro, remember, 1 second, if he doesn't keep his promise to take his father out, he's going to say that he knows one more language than mine. He also swore to me. So he said, okay, you can take your father and bury him outside, because of that promise that he made. Okay, so here let's continue. So Paro took out his ring and he gave it to Yosef, and he got him dressed into linen clothing, because he was an important clothing at that time. He gave him a wagon to be on it, and he gave him also a gold chain to wear. And now there were so many people around him, so the Midrash says that he had a chariot, like a wagon next to Paro. They had thousands of noblemen who would play music, and some people who would scream in front of him that everyone had to bow down to Yosef, and it was a all big process of people coming, and it was a big event, and the ladies were going on top of the wall, and they were throwing their jewelries to Yosef because they wanted Yosef to look at them. And Paro changed the name of Yosef, and he called him Tzafnat Paneach. Tzafnat Paneach means someone who knows how to uncover, to reveal the hidden things, because he knew how to explain the dreams. So he called him Tzafnat Paneach, and Yosef did not look at all these ladies, and also Paro gave him a wife, and the wife was Osnat. So who was Osnat? She was the daughter of Dinah. And we said that in the letters of her name, we could see what happened when she was in Shechem, Osnat, Anusa, that she was taken over there. And she was, so what happened was that when Dinah was expecting from the baby, and when she had the baby, Yaakov took the baby, put him into the basket, and there was a bird that took him. I'll tell you right. Yeah. I think it's a bird, a malach came. A malach came and took the basket with the baby, was inside the Osnat, and Yaakov before that put a chain to the baby and wrote, whoever gets married to this girl gets married to someone of the family of Yaakov. So they knew that she came from the family of Yaakov, and she was transported to the house of Potiphar, and Potiphar was the one who grew this girl, and that's why Zulecha, the wife of Potiphar, she wanted to be with Yosef, because she said, I see in the stars that we're going to have a common descendants, but she didn't know that he was from Osnat. She thought he would be from her. That's the whole story with last week's story. Okay, and that's the story. And here also Paro wanted to tell Yosef and to show everyone, look, Potiphar is not upset at Yosef. He knows the truth that Yosef didn't do anything bad to his wife. That's why he gives his daughter to marry Yosef. You could see that he is not someone who did something bad to her. He wanted to prove that he was a good person, and he had 2 children before the hunger time. So he had 2 sons. Yosef had 2 sons. One he called him Menashe. Menashe means Kinashani, because Hashem made me forget about the study of the Torah that I learned in the house of my father, because he had so much suffering, so he forgot some of the things. And Ephraim means because Hashem made me fruitful in the house of the misery in Mitzrayim. So it's the first one is the past, the second one is the future. And he had 2 children. So during the time of hunger, people cannot have children. So they had 2 children before the hunger time. Okay. So during the 7 next years, the Egyptians were eating and making like big parties, and they were eating and eating and eating so much, and they always had, and they would take more from the closets and more, they always had food. When came the hunger, whatever was on their table became rotten right away. They had nothing to eat from one day to the next day. So they came to Yosef and they asked for money, for food, and Yosef said, okay, no problem, I'll give you food. First you have to thank Hashem and to say thank you Hashem for giving food to us. They said, no way, we are not doing such a thing. Okay, so they went home. I don't know if he gave them some food, and then the next time they came to him, he said, yeah, you have to do the Brit Milah. Now you have to do the Brit Milah. And so the Midrash asks over here, why did Yosef want them to do the Brit Milah? So it said that he wanted them to do the Brit Milah in order that the future generation would not be ashamed to do the Brit Milah to their children, because Yosef knew they would be in Galut. And maybe they would be ashamed of the Egyptians. If we do the Brit Milah, we're going to be different from the Egyptians, but now they had the Brit Milah, so the Jewish people could do the Brit Milah and they wouldn't feel bad to do it. That's what the Midrash explains over here. And they said that the people did not want to do the Brit Milah, so they came to Paro and they complained to Paro, and they said that, why is he asking us to do such a thing? It's impossible. And Paro said, why didn't you collect some food? You had so much food. Why did you do so? So they said, but everything was rotten. We did collect so much. So Paro said, if he can say that everything should be rotten and it happens, you should go to him and listen to what he has to say, because if he decides that we should all die, so he will kill every one of us. So they had to listen. And the Midrash explains over here that the famine, the hunger, didn't not only touch Egypt, but it touched all the countries around. Canaan was touched, the Phoenicia, the Arabic countries, everything around became like had no food, and everyone was very hungry. And Yosef decided that it's time to sell the food to everyone. But he did not do like other countries who say, okay, there is a hunger, we sell only for our people. He decided whoever would come could come and get food and buy the food for everyone. But he had some rules, some very interesting rules. Number one, the first rule was no slave could come and buy food. Only the masters or the children of the family can buy food. We're going to explain why. Second rule was that they could take only whatever one donkey can carry, no more than one donkey. Third thing, that they can buy only for themselves, not to sell to anyone else, only for themselves. And number four, whoever would buy food, we would write his name on the paper over there. They would know who he is and it should be written. And Menashe was the son of Yosef, and he was the one responsible for all that. Why do you think it was decided this way? Give me your ideas. Why were these rules? Only a master of the family, only one donkey, everyone has to write the names when they come over here, and they cannot sell it. Why? Why did Yosef do that? What does Yosef want? You could imagine the continuation of the Parsha, so then you could know why he's doing that. What does he want, Yosef? Now he's in Mitzrayim and he became an important person. What does he want to see? Who does he want to see? His father and his brothers, right? He wants to see his brothers. So how can he bring them to come? If they have many doors and everyone comes in and goes out how they want. If Yaakov sends a slave, so whoever can come and the brothers are never going to come. If they take a lot of food, so the food is going to be for everyone. They could sell the food and no one would ever know, and no, his brothers are not going to be coming. So he wanted his brothers to come. So first they have to take little food, then they have to come again and again. So you would see them. So if everyone takes a donkey, they have a whole family. So everyone has to come and get for his family. So you will see all his brothers. If they cannot buy from someone else, so they would have to come to Mitzrayim. And if they don't send a slave, so they would come to Mitzrayim. He found the whole way, and the names have to be written, so you would know when they come. This was the whole idea of this rule. So the Egyptians thought, wow, he's so wise, and he gives such nice rules, but he was really for himself. Okay? And this is what happened. So here, the first year, Yaakov's house was fine. The second year, they started to be hungry, and Yaakov said to his sons, don't show yourself that you have so much food, like you show yourself as you are not hungry. We are getting less and less food. It's time for you to go to Mitzrayim. And he used a word which is called shever. Shever means hope in Hebrew. So somewhere he saw he didn't have any more Ruach HaKodesh Yaakov, because Hashem, like he was mourning from his son, and Hashem hid that Yosef was really sold in Mitzrayim, so he didn't know about it. But he felt that something, a hope, was in Mitzrayim, so he's sending his son to go there. But here they say that he sent his 10 sons who were there when Yosef was sold. But the truth is they had only 9 sons who were there. Because the 10th person, the 10 was Hashem, when they decided to hide that they sold their brother. But I think it could be that also Reuven was here in the beginning when they put him in the pit. So 10 knew that something happened to Yosef, and that's who he sent. But Yaakov had some rules, and he said to his sons, don't come from one door, like 10 nice men coming from one door, because maybe the bad eye can come on you. So just take a different door and go from different doors. You go inside the land. Yaakov said to his sons, yes. So Yaakov said to his sons, so come from a different door. Everyone should come from a different door to Mitzrayim, and you are going to bring us food from there. He gave them food. He gave them money, because when it's a hunger time, he has to pay a lot of money. And they went down. They all regretted that they sold their brother. We explained last week that really the hatred that they had against their brother was really that he should be sold. After they sold him, they didn't hate him anymore, and they regretted all the sadness that their father had. They decided, we go to Mitzrayim, we're going to look for our brother. And he said that they went inside the doors of Mitzrayim, so they wrote their name for sure, but they decided to go and look for him in a bad neighborhood. So they said, maybe over there, he was a slave, he was sold over there, maybe we'll find him over there. So 3 days after their name was written, first Yosef, when he saw the names that Menashe brought him, he said, close all the doors and leave only one place open, that they could buy food only from this place. And then he took a few men from Egypt and he said, go around and look for the brothers. And they found them and they brought them to Yosef. And then Yosef, in the beginning, He saw his brothers and he recognized them right away. But they did not recognize him because he was 17 and now he's 30 years old. Now he has a beard and he looks with like red clothing and he looks like a king and he was sitting on a very nice throne and everything. So he didn't look like Joseph. Who would dream that Joseph would become such an important person? Okay, so
that's the same day that he asked them, "Where is your last brother,
Benjamin.
Benjamin?" Right?
Right, exactly. But he gave them some time. So he's asking them the first day, but he kept them for a while and then he sent them to the Benjamin. Exactly. What was interesting that Joseph in the beginning recognized his brother. The first thing he wanted to do is to tell them that he was Joseph. But then he decided no, he's not going to do that, and he had the reasons. The reasons is because he wanted that they should do teshuvah. He knew that what they did, they are going to be punished for what they did. So he wanted them to do teshuvah in this world in order that nothing bad should happen to them and they should be forgiven. But we said last time that they were forgiven, but somewhere something stayed about from the sin, and they were the 10 Harugei Malchut, 10 tzaddikim had to be killed in a different generation because of the 10 brothers. That's all their brother. Okay? So he decided that he's going to have them go into the same exact situation as he was when he was sold, and if they really regret what they did, so it means that they were forgiven and he would tell them who he was. If not, he would not tell them who he was. So what did he do? He pretended that he did not understand Hebrew. First he took Menashe, his son, and Menashe would translate. Whatever he would say in Egyptian, Menashe would translate in Hebrew. Whatever they said, they had a translator in between them. So the brothers wouldn't think that he really understood what they were saying. So here we see that the brothers came to Yosef and they bowed down to him. So we will see that they're going to bow down 2 more times to him. So it's going to be 3 times. But how many dreams did he have? Yosef had 2 dreams. But here they bow down to him 3 times, right? So it said, I was reading in the explanation today, that the first time is to say hi. And the first time represents also the first dream. What was the first dream? The first dream was that they were gathered together and working in the field. Then all the wheat were bowing to Yosef. So the first time they work together, and this is the time that they come to Yosef and they bow down to him. The second time it is going to be the connection with the dream, and the third time is going also to be the connection with the dream. But the first time is all part of the first dream, or it means that they just said hi to him. Okay? So the brothers of Yosef, they come to Yosef, and when he sees them right away, he wants to tell them, but he decides not to. And here we explain why. He wants them to be forgiven. They hated him and they didn't talk to him nicely, so that's what he's going to do with them. They tried to kill him when he went to Dotan, and that's what he's going to accuse them to be something that they are not. They threw him in the pit, so he's going to throw them in prison for them to go through the same experience. And then they sold him as a slave, so he's going to try to say that you are going to be my slave because you stole my cup. We will see at the end of the Parsha. And they made the father suffer, saying that Joseph was really eaten by an animal and is going to make them suffer in order that they should be forgiven for their sins. This is everything we're going to be seeing now. So Joseph was asking his brothers, from where are you? They said, we came from the land of Canaan. We came here to buy food. Joseph took his cup, because he had a silver cup. And he said, you see my magic cup? It tells me everything. And he banged on it and said, I see in the cup that you are spies, because you came from different doors and you wanted to see the weak place of the country. No, they said, our master, we are not spies. Our father said that we should come from different doors because we didn't want the bad eye to come to us. If it's like this, what did you do in this bad neighborhood? Yosef said, we were looking for something that we lost. They said, we thought that we could find that over there. What kind of thing did you lose? You are liars. I see in my cup that 2 of you destroyed the big town of Shechem. And now you're going to do the same exactly to Egypt, to Mitzrayim. And I see also that you sold your brother to some Arab people. So then the brothers were shaky. No, our master, they said, we are 12 brothers. We are the sons of one man in Eretz Canaan. Where are your 2 other brothers? Yosef said. The youngest is with our father, and the other one is not here. They answered. Yes, he was here. Where is he? Yosef said, we sold him. How much money did you sell him for? For 5 coins. We said that the 20 coins were really 5 gold coins and 20 silver coins. If someone would sell your brother for 5 coins, would you pay for him? Yosef said, yes, we would pay for sure. And if the master wants 10 of these coins, would you pay for Yosef, for your brother? Yes, they said, yes, we would pay 10. And if he asked for 100 coins, would you pay for him? They said, we will give him the money. But what about if the master doesn't want to sell the brother? We are here for that. We would kill, we would be killed. That's what they answered. Oh, Yosef said, that's exactly what I said. You came here to kill the people of the town. I was right. You are spies, right? I'm going to give you, I want to prove that whatever you say is true. On the life of Paro, he swore on the life of Paro. Every time he wanted, he was swearing on the life of Paro because he didn't care about Paro. On the life of Paro, you will not leave this place if your brother, your young brother, is not here with you. And it says over here that every time, I think he said 5 times on the life of Paro, but they didn't know that he was not an important person. And Yosef said to his brother, so you know what, I'm going to keep everyone over here, so that one brother should go to Canaan and bring back their brothers, and in the meantime, I'm going to keep you over here. And he put them in prison, in jail for 3 days. Everyone was in jail for 3 days. And the 3rd day he said to them, if you want to leave, here is what you're going to do. I'm going to keep one in prison. Who is he going to choose? Who destroyed the town of Shechem? Who were the 2 brothers who were 13 years old and killed everyone? Not Yehuda. Shimon and Levi. So Shimon and Levi destroyed the town of Yehuda. He didn't want them to live together. So he separated them. He said, I'm going to keep Shimon with me in the prison, and you go to your houses and you bring back your brothers. And there is another reason, is because Shimon, when he saw Yosef next to the pit, he said, here is the one who had the dreams. Let's kill him. He was the one. So he wanted him to be forgiven for what he did. So he said, and you, so I'm going to keep over here Shimon, and you go and bring wheat to your families and come back. And come back with your young brother. And then I will check that you are saying the truth and you will not die. And then the brothers said to each other, everything that happens to us is really Ashgacha. Every suffering is because we didn't listen to Yosef. When he asked us not to kill him, we did not listen to him. And here we see that they understood that something was happening over here. And because Menashe, the interpreter, was in between, they didn't know that Yosef really understood what they were saying, and he was very sensitive. So he went to the room, he cried, and he came back, and he didn't show anything. And he came back. And he separated Shimon from Levi, he put him in jail, and it said in the Midrash that Shimon was very strong, and Shimon wanted to fight with him. So Menashe came, and he hit Shimon on the back of the head and tied him, and Shimon said, whoa, that's the kind of fighters that we have in our family. He didn't know that he was his nephew, and they took him, and they said that right away after the brothers left the place, so he didn't leave him in prison, and they gave him to eat, and they said who he was, I think, and they didn't keep him in prison. It didn't make him suffer more than what he had to, and he stayed with Yosef. And then Yosef asked his son, and he said, give everyone a bag of wheat for their family, give them food, and also give them back the money they brought to pay for the wheat that they came to take from Egypt. And when Levi was alone, he opened his bag on the way, and where did he find the money? And he said, oh no, we're going to be accused again that we stole the money from the Egyptians. We came to buy, we paid, and now our money is in our bag. And they all opened their bags, and they saw that the money was there, and they said, what are we going to do? What should we do? And that they understood again, and they say, yes, this is exactly what is happening, because we did something bad to our brothers, and now we are paying for it. But then they came back to Yaakov, and they said to Yaakov the whole story, and Yaakov thought that they also sold Shimon. They said, you know what, last time you sold your brother, who says that you didn't sell also Shimon this time? And then Reuven says, you know what, we have to bring Binyamin next time that we go to get the food, so let's do something. I'm going to be responsible for Binyamin. Reuven said that if I don't bring him back, so you're going to kill my 2 sons. And Jacob said, 1 second, your sons are not my sons. You think I'm going to kill them? So then Yehuda said, I'm responsible. I'm going to be responsible if I don't bring Binyamin with me, with us, so I'm going to pay in this life and in the world to come. I'm going to lose this wife and the life to come. And Jacob accepted it later, but Jacob was very scared to send Binyamin with him because he said, I had a wife, Rachel. She passed away on the way. I had a son, Yosef. When he was on the way, an animal ate him. And now I have another son, Binyamin. Maybe there is a decree that something on the way is going to happen to all my children, so he didn't want to send him. But after a few months or a few weeks or whatever time, they didn't have food anymore and they had no choice. And Yehuda said, let's go. And Jacob didn't want. So he said, you know what should we do? Is it better to die from hunger or to try to bring Binyamin and to bring him back? So they agreed. And he said that Jacob said, take the money from last time. Take double money in case of in the hunger, the food became more expensive. And take from the best fruits of Eretz Israel to bring to the person in charge of the country. Bring him a present, like the nice fruits from Eretz Israel. And what do I need more? So the brother says, now you need to pray for us. So then Yaakov made a tefillah and he said that Hashem should make you find grace in the eyes of this man, and he should send you your other brother with Binyamin. Who was the other brother besides Shimon? Yosef. Again, he had some Ruach HaKodesh, some vision of something that is going to happen, but he couldn't really see it because it was not the proper time. And Yaakov said that Hashem should bring me back all my children, and Hashem should stop all the suffering that I'm having now. And he asked Hashem to stop all the suffering. Okay. Now the brothers went down to Mitzrayim, and when Yosef saw Binyamin within them, he was so happy. And he said to Menashe his son, take these men, take them to the palace. We're gonna eat together. We tell them to prepare the animals to make the shrita and to take out the gid and ashe, this nerve, sciatic nerve that was supposed to be taken off the animal, and prepare also some food for tomorrow, because tomorrow was Shabbos. It was on Friday that they came back, and the next day was Shabbos. And Yosef was keeping Shabbos. Even though it was not given by Hashem, but he was keeping the Shabbos, and that's what they do. But the brothers were very scared. Something was going wrong. Normally, when someone comes to buy food, you don't bring him to the palace of the king. Normally, they go to the hotels around there, and they were very scared that because of the money, they are going to be accused again. So before going into the house, they said, 1 second, I want to talk to you. They said to Menashe, so we found the money and we brought the money back to give you back the money that we brought the first time. And Menashe said, no worries, Hashem gave you a present, everything is good, and no worries. I'm sure there is nothing to worry about. So they went into the house, they prepared a nice, all the fruits and the things that they brought from Eretz Israel. And then Yaakov came. And this time, when Yosef came, everyone bowed down to him. How many people were they? 11. You remember the dream? The 11 stars? This is the second dream. The 11 brothers, they bow down to Yosef. And Yosef is asking them, how is your father? How is your grandfather? So they said, our father is fine. But for the grandfather, they didn't answer. So Yosef understood that the grandfather passed away already, and he passed away 10 years before Yitzhak. And here we know that we learned last week also, or I don't know if it was something similar to Yaakov or to Yosef. What happened was when Yosef was talking to his brothers and asking about their father, every time the brothers would say, your servant, my father, your servant. And because every time Yosef didn't say a word that his father was called a servant, for each time he lost the years of his life. Every time that he was talking to the brothers, so that's why he passed away before his brothers. He had less life because he was not supposed to accept that we call his father, that he was over his master over his father. Okay, so let's continue the story, and then this is what happens. When Yosef saw Binyamin, he was very happy because he looked like his mother. Okay, and he asked Binyamin, do you have children? He said, yes. How many? So Binyamin said, I have 10. He had 10 boys. What's their name? So he gave them the name. You want to hear? Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Achi, Rosh, Mupim, Chupim, Erd. That were the 10 names of his sons. So Yosef asked them, oh, that's interesting names. And Binyamin explained all of them. And he said, Bela, because he was swallowed by the strangers, and I don't know where my brother is. Everything is a name connected to my brother that disappeared, Yosef, right? And he said, Bela, because he was swallowed by strangers, and I don't know where he is.